The New Balance Fresh Foam Hierro V4. So this is a trail shoe. Some of the key features of this are, first off, it has the Vibram Mega Grip sole, which you can see there. The lugs aren't the deepest, so it'll be very interesting to see how that copes with wet mud, but also I'll be taking it out in a variety of terrain, dry and wet, mud, rocks, roots, etc. to give it a thorough test. In addition to that, it has the Fresh Foam midsole, which I think now is a feature of most, if not all, of New Balance running shoes. It also has a toe protector at the front in case you kick any rocks or roots whilst out running. And one of the other key features of this shoe is this inbuilt debris protection to stop bits of roots, mud, small stones, etc. getting in your shoe. So I'm keen to see how that feels when out on the trails and how effective it is. I'm also interested to see if there's any rubbing from that when I do my longer runs. It's an 8mm drop heel to toe, and that's pretty standard across a lot of trail shoes. This is a UK 9.5, and when I weighed it, it weighs 340 grams. Now, to put that into perspective, that's quite a lot more than a lot of the other trail shoes out in the market, and especially those which are designed at, say, ultra running in particular. So if you look at the Salomon S-Lab Ultra shoes, the version 1, I know they've got a new version out, but for the same size of shoe, they're around 300 to 310 grams. So this is around 10% heavier than a competitor product. They're also quite a wide shoe. If you look at the size of the sole, for example, and compare that to, say, the Salomon of the same size, you can see it is significantly bigger in terms of the width. So I'm interested to see how that's going to feel when actually out on technical terrain and you're looking for precise foot placement, and how that impacts it, just given the size of the actual footprint of these, the width of them in particular. The upper looks pretty robust. It's a mixture of two different materials there, as you can see, and it's also quite flexible around the sides, so that'll be useful when out doing longer runs and your feet may be expanding, for example, once you get into the ultra distance. So I think the next thing to do is to go out and test these thoroughly. So I'm going to get them on my feet and go out for a run. I've had the shoes for a couple of weeks now, and I've ran 114 kilometers in them, which is about 70 miles. The longest run was 46 kilometers, which is probably about 28 miles, I think. So over a marathon in a single run in these, and that was only my 4th run in the shoes, which just shows how they've adapted and how much confidence I have in them. No blisters or anything like that, so I really have got on extremely well with them. So here are my thoughts on the New Balance Fresh Foam Hierro 4 shoes. First off, I will start with the grip and the sole. I've tested them in a variety of conditions, wet, dry. I even got the opportunity to put them in some snow, which was quite interesting. And although in the really slippy stuff, the wet mud, and also in the snow, they don't quite have deep enough lugs to be truly effective, in all other conditions they're absolutely fantastic. Dry rock, wet rock, roots, mud, sort of typical trails, absolutely brilliant grip, real confidence in them. In particular on the rock, I was had no concerns whatsoever with them. You can actually feel the rubber gripping, which is a real confidence boost when you're trying to go fast on them. In terms of the actual cushioning as well, they felt really comfortable. I didn't have any incidents with sharp rocks, sort of feeling them underneath. So the ground feel, you can feel the individual rocks and have good contact with them, but the actual support and cushioning from the soles is fantastic. So you can run down sort of steep technical trails with confidence that you're not going to feel sharp rocks through the ground. The toe protector, unfortunately I did have the opportunity to use that, and it seemed to work pretty well on the 46-kilometer run. Towards the end of it I was getting a bit tired, so I did kick a couple of rocks, and it does work well, but maybe could be slightly stiffer, would be my only comment. So I did feel one of them when I was going quite fast, which was slightly uncomfortable, but overall seems to work as you would hope it would. On the steep descents, I did find on my first run in them that my feet were slipping in the shoes and going forward a bit, so actually my toes were hitting the inside of the shoes. But that was easily rectified by tightening the laces a little bit more, and since then they've been absolutely fine. As I mentioned at the start of the video, they are quite a wide shoe, and that was one of the reasons that attracted them to me, so you do have a little bit of movement inside the shoe, but overall nothing of any concern. One thing I was also interested to see how it worked was the inbuilt gaiter and whether there'd be any rubbing from that. Absolutely love it. I've taken it down some really rocky, rough terrain where you're likely to get little stones and things like that in your shoes, and I've had no incidents of that. In the snow as well, it was absolutely brilliant. I didn't have any snow coming in my shoes. I think it had been really deep snow and it had been sinking consistently, then it may have obviously got in, but in the stuff I was running through, it was a real boost having this inbuilt gaiter. So I'm an absolute convert to that. I think it's fantastic. I have done races, for example, in the past where I've had to stop and remove stones from my shoes. Overall, I have real confidence in this shoe, and for the sort of ultra marathons that I'll be doing, that this will be absolutely perfect for those. Have you tried these shoes out? I'd love to hear how you've got on with them. Please leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any future content, and I'll see you next time.